Is it possible to do high-ticket sales with love? Hello everyone, it's Anri Davids here, and in this video we're gonna go deeper into guilt-free high-ticket sales. And I'm here with the one and only Jason Campbell. He worked 7 years for Mindvalley, is a podcast host of Superhumans at Work, and is actually the mind of sales for Mindvalley. Super grateful to having you here, man. And yeah, man, I can't wait to hear what you have to tell about my audience about selling. And you're making a book right now. It's almost gonna be finished. What's the name of that?
So I'm writing a book called Selling with Love. It's going to be out in December. And a lot of these principles about selling guilt-free is, something that a lot of people struggle with. So we're going to debunk that. We're going to talk right here about how people can move beyond the guilt. And then when it comes to high ticket, how you can actually just go ahead and be relentless and close everybody that you can serve amazingly and without hesitation. And you realize you make more money, they are happier, the impact of the world is good. We'll get into all of that.
Have you always been dreaming about quitting your 9-to-5 job, traveling around the world, creating financial freedom with something you're really passionate about, being your own boss and live your life on your terms? Then this channel is for you. So very excited having you here. It's something that I also had struggled with for a long time. To get on a call with people, I felt like I don't want to be this annoying salesperson. I was also selling not the most amazing things where I really trusted in. And yeah, since I've been selling my own product, since I've started to really gain trust in what I sold and really understand that my product's really transforming people, I could finally start to actually sell without guilt. And yeah, you have this process for this where people go through and all the steps where people are into. And yeah, I can't wait to hear more about that, man.
All right. So what I want to make sure people understand is I could sit here and share with everybody, a 5-step process on how you can close a better sale. And matter of fact, I'm actually going to sell something pretty powerful by the end of this interview where you'll directly be able to apply step by step how to actually get people that when they come to you, you'll know exactly what problems to solve in their life and why you are the perfect solution for them. But again, you can go on Google, you can find ideas around how to sell high ticket. You can search on YouTube, you can find a better way to close, maybe a better way to prospect, better way to generate leads. And unfortunately, there's still some people that struggle a lot with sales. So it's like, is it a question that you're not using the right tactic? And I'm here to tell you that most of the time, it's not the case. Because if you had the knowledge, the confidence that whenever it is that you get on a sales engagement with anybody, that you are bringing the best gift into their lives, that you are completely going to solve their problems, make their lives better, and what you're going to offer is so much more value than what you're asking in return, you would have no hesitation to go find every single technique that is necessary for that person to understand exactly what you're saying and that you'll actually be able to sell it so much stronger. So this is why the beliefs is actually the questions we need to answer first. And a lot of people might be sitting here thinking, my God, okay, I know mindset. I've heard about mindset. If you did and you actually paid attention and learned a lesson, you wouldn't be sitting here listening on a call to be closing high ticket sales. You'd be on the phone relentlessly calling. Now, I don't want you to stop this video and go hit the phones just yet, because what we're going to do is actually break down what that mental block is and give you a blueprint on how you can go over that. And then you'll be unstoppable whenever you get on the phone, get on an email, get on a text message, whatever is necessary to make that person understand your value. You will know it, they will know it, and the sales will start happening.
I love it. I'm very excited. If you're new on this channel, by the way, like this video, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and comment what your biggest problem is with high ticket sales. Anyway, so it all starts with your belief, right? And that's also my math equation of life. That's C plus T times B times E is D. And this means it's literally your current situation you're in right now. If you plus that with beliefs, multiply this with action and with time, there's no other way than coming to your desired outcome. Seriously. And the first step is mainly the mindset. And what you told already, like mindset, that's all that stuff. But like, can you go more deeper into that? What do you really mean with beliefs? And
so the first thing I'll say is when it comes to beliefs, repetition is key. See, most of our lives, we've been conditioned in a way that actually holds us back. And if you're trying to make a change in life, change can be difficult. Why? Because we've had repetition of beliefs from our childhood. And we're so much more imprintable when we're younger. So you require energy or action, as I love in your formula. So what I want to give you first is a way to look at sales differently that can change your belief. And I think once you actually give a definition, you can see what that future way of looking at sales can actually change your actions because your belief will be different. So here's how I'll break it down first. I once remember I Googled like, what is sales? And I believe it was a definition from Jay Abraham, which I highly respect. And it was something like, it's the offer of products and services for a price to client. It was a very corporate definition of sales. And for me, as Anri mentioned, I worked for Mind Valley for over 7 years, which means I've fully embraced the woo-woo. I'm all and I say that lightly. Mind Valley is not woo-woo, but at the same time, you give me on a course for chakra, and I love that stuff because it's a different modality to make sure I anchor the newest beliefs that make me the best version of myself.
Yes.
Now, here's what I realized. When it comes to sale, if I can give you a powerful definition that you can go, yeah, that makes sense, and it actually enables you to want to sell more, that's a pretty good start. So here's what I wanted to give first, is a new definition of sales that you can apply. Selling is nothing more than an energy exchange between two conscious beings. And it's funny because I used to say between humans, but then I've tried training a dog, and it's also an energy exchange. So I'll say conscious beings at this point.
Okay, that's good.
And then when you know what you offer is so much more than what you ask in return, which I've mentioned earlier, when you know this for a fact, it's a truth for you, then the only thing that balances the equation is an emotion. Emotion is often not being calculated. That's why I use the word energy. The emotion of love is what fills the gap. And I bring love into the process of selling, but stick with me here. If I know what I'm offering is more than what I ask in return, love is the emotion that's in place both on the buyer side and the seller side that makes this work. Now, the question is, why do we not sell from love all the time? Because if you're not selling from a place of love, what does it even mean to sell from love? It means you care so much about the impact that you're making to that person when you make the sale. You care so much about that person. You understand their pain. And you love your product so much because you understand that product solves the pain and makes the impact. And you actually love the process of selling. Like, there's some people who are like, oh, I don't want to run this ad. It seems manipulative. Is it? Have you ever tried to convince a friend to go to the gym? Like, have you ever went like, hey, you should come to the gym? Oh, I don't want to. Okay, bye.
Yes.
No. Yes. When I love my friend, or I'll give a better example, my girlfriend, she wants to go to the gym. I know it. And we've talked about this. It's in the bed. She's like, I'm sleepy. I'm like, babe, we're going to go right now to the gym. And it's going to be the most amazing thing. They have this booty workout that's going to be amazing. You'll feel great. Remember last time we went, you felt amazing. We had the same scenario. You should put on your shoes. I brought them right at the base of the bed. You can just throw them on. We're going to go to the gym and we'll feel amazing. Like, you step in with a different energy. If I didn't care, I'd go, bye, I'm heading to the gym. Yep. And a lot of people out there, you're actually holding back your gift from the people that need it because you prefer the comfort than the conversion. You prefer the comfort. It's not ever the question of the buyer's limitation why the sale doesn't happen. It's always in your own. So you're talking high ticket, right?
Yes.
You're talking about something for $6,000.
Yes.
One of the big problems people make is that they think they're the buyer.
Yes. And
they might not have the same problem. So if I'm like selling something, let's say it's a business optimization, or I'm teaching people sales, and I'm like, all right, people need to pay $10,000 for this. And then I'm thinking, would I buy it for $10,000? I'm like, well, no, I know sales. I'm okay. But if I start thinking I'm the buyer, then I'm actually not going to use the energy to sell it. I'm going to be like, oh, I shouldn't sell this too strong. Maybe 10,000 is too much. You have no idea what limitations this person has.
Yes.
If that person has massive limitations around selling, I will take your 10,000 eagerly because I know you can generate hundreds, and I will be relentless. And I need to be able to do that. Like, how you express love to a client, it's not by, oh, I'm going to smother them. No, the love of a client is an understanding. That's why you get really clear on knowing who you're selling to and why, what their problem is. And you can start evaluating, like, what's the difference that I make for this person? And there's a value to that, whether it's time, money. Again, that's why I say energy, because you got a product or service, you're asking something in exchange. It's going to be saving time. It's going to be money.
Yes.
And then there's the energy play, right? And that's why when you step from that emotion of love, you get passionate, you get enthusiastic. You read us 10 steps about being better at sales. They always say, you got to be enthusiastic. If I'm feeling that a salesperson is a slimy, manipulative, used car salesman cartoon mentality, how enthusiastic are you going to be about selling?
Yep.
Matter of fact, if you are being enthusiastic and those are the beliefs you have, then every sale you make is going to be painful, because now you're feeling incongruent, inauthentic, and you are actually not selling with authenticity. And people feel it, you feel it, and that's why the equation will still balance, but it'll be shame and guilt that's in place. And so, as you can see, this is something I get a little excited about.
Yeah, it's great.
But that's why the belief needs to change. When you see that the equation is just an energy exchange between conscious beings, and that emotion is also a part of this exchange, then why do we hesitate? It's mostly because people are stuck in this layer, which is the shame, guilt level of emotion.
Yes, it's completely true. Thanks a lot for sharing. This means a lot to hear that from you. It's what I see also with my clients, right? They like think, okay, I have this valuable knowledge I can help people with, but they're like, what you say, they have like guilt when they sell, and that when they are in this phase, they can get on so many calls, but they're just not enabling themselves to sell, right? And what you said also, it's all about understanding who you sell to, right? It's all about understanding what our biggest pain point is. And people don't buy just from information, right? People buy literally from transformation, from their hell to their heaven, right? They buy themselves out of something instead of buying into something. And this is also what I see a lot of other coaches and consultants do also. They have built a big following and built big base, but they haven't really built a business around it. They're still setting 1 hour calls. They're still getting on all the calls where they're really expert, but they still haven't figured out that they actually need to change the transformation instead of just 1 hour information, for example. And that's also when you understand that, how to get there from their hell to their heaven, that's when you're going to realize, okay, their people are so much in pain and they're willing to spend so much money to get out of it, right? But you also have to be trustful in yourself. You have to be trusting yourself that you can give this value, that you can give this information to them, this transformation to them. And once you have this, do you think that the belief of guilt will go away, or like how do you see that?
So there's a couple of things we can unpackage from what you just said. The first thing I'll go into is kind of how do you get out of this shame, guilt emotion, right? So if you're finding yourself at that space, there's two things. One is there may be some things you can do to the product side that will make you realize that there's no guilt or shame that needs to be there. I'll get to that second. The first thing is most people, even if I give you every technique in the book, you would still find yourself in the shame, guilt environment. Why? Conditioning. And this is where you need to do an inventory with yourself. There's a lot of things that you need to look at is what is your definition of a salesperson? When I say sales, high ticket sales, who comes to mind? Do you have a used car salesman? Do you have the Wolf of Wall Street? Do you have, these slick guys that are taking advantage of people? Like, what are the beliefs you have? Like, what are the role models you have? What I love about the internet now is that there's so many role models that are coming out that are actually positive sales figures. And they might not be the people that you're thinking about, because I could obviously list out guys like Grant Cardone, Dan Lok, Anri, myself. You could go into thinking about the Wolf of Wall Street, like the Jordan Belfort, if you like his straight line process. You can find people that you resonate with and be like, hey, I like the way they do it.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can also look at the bigger picture ones. Who are some of the best salespeople on the planet? Elon Musk. That's always a fun one to pick on. Isn't he a great salesperson? Like, let me give you an example of how good of a salesperson he is. And you might not even realize this is sales, but it is. Have you ever watched a SpaceX rocket launch?
No.
Okay. I have. Actually, I was really lucky. I went to Cape Canaveral. I was in Florida, and I actually went and sit in the stand as I saw the SpaceX rocket launch 2 satellites that were actually providing broadband internet to Southeast Asia. I was like, this is really cool. Wow. So I went and saw it. But what was actually more fascinating than that is I saw the rocket take off, and it was amazing. But there was a video, and the video was on YouTube. It was a live stream. There was a live stream on YouTube as we're watching it, and there's commentary. They have cameras on the rockets that you can see it while it's in space, and it's live streaming cameras of.
Wow.
And here's the question I ask: why the hell would you do that? Like, doesn't it cost a ton of money for any amount of weight to be sent into space? Why would I add the extra weight of a camera and coordinate an entire division to film the entire rocket? If I think of anybody sending any kind of rocket in space, I think SpaceX. The media is there. They're showcasing this. Now, what does that mean about the premium that they can command as a publicly listed company? How much more people are going to invest in SpaceX? Do you know what UAE is?
Excuse me?
ULA. Do you know what ULA is?
No.
We have a camera guy. Do you know what ULA is?
No idea.
ULA is the United Launch Alliance. It's a collaboration between Boeing and Lockheed Martin that actually launches almost as many rockets as SpaceX. Have you ever heard of them?
No. That's the marketing. That's the
Marketing is an aspect of sales as well. And that's why I'm saying if you if you are going to be looking at a greatest salesperson, Elon Musk understands the game. The more you invest in the sales and you do these little things that make the product better, people recognize you more, the sales are easier. Now, Elon Musk is getting the contracts from NASA to send people to the station. They're getting more people that want to launch with SpaceX. Why? People want to do business with people they like. That's an example of a role model. So, a bit of a tangent. So, bringing it back to your beliefs, who are your sales role models is really important. Because then you actually realize that, hey, if I can be more of a salesperson like that, I'm going to be okay with selling. And whatever it is the negative experiences you might have had yourself. Because these are looking at role models, but what are your specific experiences with salespeople? Did you ever buy a car and got screwed? Did you ever go and transact and buy a cell phone, got screwed? Did you ever buy a house, buy a realtor, got screwed? I don't know what your history is, but here's where you need to step into understanding as well. There's no person that's trying to be a bad person. Everyone's trying to do their best. And some people are not as abundant at you and as abundant as you, and they were forced to get into a scenario where they might have manipulated you because they really needed to. But here's something I will tell you that might shift your mind here is the more you can step into selling from love and abundance, the more you lift the tide for everybody else. Now you need to have a forgiveness and understanding for the people that might have wronged you. Their intention wasn't to wrong you. It was the circumstances that you probably don't know about that forced them to sell that way. So you need to let that go, because the more you resent and hold that back, it's holding you back from selling. Because every time you sell, you feel like you're that person that took advantage of you, and then you're not going to want to sell. So you need to clear that. And the final element of going around that, it's actually with parent conditioning.
Yep.
What was a console that you played when you were a kid? Were you like PlayStation 2? Was it like Nintendo? Did you
everything. I played everything.
What was the first one you got?
Probably Game Boy.
Game Boy?
Yeah.
All right. For me, it was actually the N64.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if this resonates for any other listeners, but have you ever seen that you wanted something as a kid? Kids are the best salespeople on the planet. They are relentless.
Yes.
And they're the best, but they're not aware of anything else. They're just trying their best. And they're like, I'm just going to ask. Ask. Mom, Dad, can I get this? Please, please, please. Can I get it? Oh, please, please. I'll do anything. I'll clean my room. I'll do this. Come, please, 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 please.
Yeah.
As a parent. If a person is a parent, which I am not, but I would imagine, can you imagine the parents? The child is a relentless salesperson. He didn't go through these trainings. The kid is just a kid. He's just doing the best that he can with what he's got. And so he's asking relentlessness, and the parents that bless them, at some point you get impatient, and what do? Hey, no means no. Stop asking. And that is how you get an imprint that can stick with you for a long time. Because now you realize that if you call that person 4 times, is that bringing back the moment that you lost love from your role models, your parents when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Like,
it's real. Yeah.
That is real.
Yeah.
So again, you need to practice understanding. That happened as a child. You did your best. And now today, you have to realize that you need to be persistent. I mean, most sales happens after 4 to 7 interactions. Most people give up after 2 or 3. So you want to be a winner? You got to ask more. Do you resist asking more? I have a time when I was working in real estate. And I called a person 27 times. And the person actually ended up they sold their house. And then the realtor, because I was actually booking appointments for realtors, the realtor at the end said, why did you decide to sign with us? They said, I don't know, but you had this one guy that called me 27 times. And I know if he's going to be that persistent about getting me on the phone, I know you're going to sell my house.
Yes.
Persistence, repetition. If you have no shame, like we use the example, that person has no shame. Yeah, you want to be a good salesperson? Remove yourself from these blocks, because those are the anchors that hold you back. Once you release that, you will take off running, and everything else you'll take on like a sponge.
Yes.
Because you'll step into being closer like the role models, and that way you'll know that you're not going to hesitate selling regardless, because you are going to be the one stepping in and doing amazing things in the world. Now, one more thing. At the beginning, I said, what is some things I can do about the product that'll make it so that I can actually sell without less? So Jay Abraham, I mentioned him before.
Yes.
Great person. Go check out his stuff. Buy his book, Getting Everything You Want Out of All You've Got. I think that's the title. I'm sure you can add this to the show notes or such. Yeah. Amazing man. And one of the key aspects I love that he teaches is called risk reversal. Okay, you want to sell something for $7,000? What if you just put, and you're feeling resistance, you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can deliver. First off, There's only one thing if you ever read the 4 Agreements, which is some spiritual book, Don Miguel Luis, powerful things. There's one of the agreements you can make about your reality, which is really powerful. There's only one kind of action you make every time, all the time. Your best action. Everything you do, even if you decide to watch Netflix, you are always doing your best action.
Yes, yes.
There's no such thing as I'm not doing my best. You're always doing the best you can based on the circumstance you are in right now. And this is important to know, because if you're making a sale for $7,000 and you're feeling hesitant, or the person comes back to you and you feel like you've let them down, or they feel like they were let down, I know for a fact that all that you delivered was your best. And you need to acknowledge that more. And when you do that, you can actually make sure that you have policies in place with your product that'll ensure that you're always going to deliver your best and you won't have any negative consequences from a service that wasn't fully delivered.
For sure. It's really about this communication also to your clients, right? Really, if you get this client, communicate exactly clearly what he will get, how much time they will get from you, and like everything should be so on paper.
And then the risk reversal is, okay, give a money back guarantee. If that's really what's stopping you, I'd rather you make a sale for $7,000 with a money back guarantee than not make a sale at all. If that's really what's stopping it, being like, oh my God, I don't know if I can deliver, tell the client, if it was my first time selling product, right? I would go to a client and say like, listen, I've studied a lot of things that make me very qualified to deliver exactly the solution to the problem that you're looking to solve right now. Now, you might not see that I have many case studies. You might not think that I have a lot of experience, but here's the benefit that happens when you work with someone like me. You will be the most important person on my planet. You are the client that I know I need to make happy, because you are going to be the case study that I need to make sure that I grow and make more people change their lives like I'm going to change yours right now. And if we work together, which I know 7,000 could seem like a lot, if by 3 months of working together you feel I did not give you any value, I will give you your entire money back. We'll put this in paper and I will make sure that I give you the world, because your success is my most important mission right now. And I think we should get started right away.
That's powerful.
If you come with that energy, because again, no shame.
Yes.
Will I be the number one person to ever deliver the services for them? I don't know, but I'm sure going to do my best. And if the person doesn't agree, I can give them their money back. And the learnings you're going to get from serving this person abundantly will make you amazing for the next one, the next one, and the next one. It's a long game.
It's a long game. In the beginning, you definitely should get some clients so you can upgrade your skills also and learn more about your audience, their thinking patterns, their language they're using. So for sure, in the beginning, when you do something like that, it's good to, if they have any objections, to handle them also for sure with this money back guarantee.
Yeah. I was going to add one more thing, which is just the fact that if you're finding yourself wanting to give away your service for free, send an invoice. Just do a service to yourself, because you're worth it. If your price is $1,000 and someone's going to take you on because you want to offer it for free, send them an invoice for $1,000 and write that you gave them a rebate of $1,000. Make them sign on that, just so that they understand that they're getting $1,000 worth of value, because free is cheap. If you're giving away yourself for free, that's the value that you give yourself.
Yes.
If you're giving $1,000 value and discounting it $1,000 for somebody, that's a different self-image that you'll have and a different treatment you'll get. And also, I think it's an important step.
That's very smart for sure. You see, when people get free coaching, consulting, whatever, they won't take the action, right? And that's also the power of high-ticket sales. The more you charge, the more someone is invested in it, the more time they're going to spend in trying to solve their problem with your guidance, the more and better testimonials you get, the better marketing you get, the more people you get, the better you get in your skills, and the better you can position yourself. And this loop that keeps going on. So that's the power also for high ticket sales, is that it's a win-win. It's a win for your pockets and also a win for your clients, because they are more invested. They're going to do whatever it takes to solve the problem with your guidance.
Exactly. And I love that. For me, I was just explaining the fact that I'm actually in the process of writing this book. And I've had this goal of writing a book for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then there was this company that offered a free training on how to write a book. Never took it.
Yeah.
But then I realized they offer a service for $10,000 to help me write a book.
Yes.
I gave him $10,000. What did they do? They made me go through the free training.
That's crazy.
Now, you might be thinking, wow, Jason got scammed. My book is coming out now. It took 5 years for me not to take action. It took 1 day for me to give 10,000, and now an extra year for the book to get written. Is that 10,000 worth it for me? You bet. Because again, it's an energy exchange.
Exactly.
I knew that the energy of $10,000 was so worth it for the product that I wanted, which was my own confidence. Like, I put 10,000. That's how important it is for me. It wasn't for them. It's for me. And I know that what they were going to deliver was from a place of love. And now guess what's happening? a book about selling with love is going to come out because I made that investment.
Hell yes.
So be relentless in the way you sell.
And also think about how much it will cost if they won't take your program, for example, right? So if you are a fitness coach, for example, you sell, I'm going to help you to lose 20 pounds, right? That's like not worth a lot of money. People are not willing to spend a lot of money. But if you say, okay, I'm going to help you to live 20 years longer with the right nutrition so you can see your granddaughters grow up, so that's the Spain. That's you straight go to their hell, right? It's like, okay, wow, if I continue like this, I won't see my granddaughters grow up. And that's what I want the most, right? And then it's really, okay, here's my money, right? And the more money they invest, it's pure energy, right? The more you're going to see results from these people also.
And I love what you're saying right now, because what you're doing is you're going straight for the emotions, right? You're like, when you want to sell, oftentimes we try to rationally sell, which is actually the third layer. When it comes
to
you
sell yourself,
you're trying to sell the data.
Yeah.
People don't buy the data, people buy through an emotion, right? And now here, I love the fact that you use this example. Like, you want to see your granddaughter's birthday as you're going to be picking her up from the ground and giving them that visceral experience of a future state that is super emotional. That helps to convert. That is a process of selling that you've studied, and you will use every trick in the book because you know the value that they're going to get when they've made that investment. And so that's why when you stop being burdened down by shame and guilt, and you step in from a place of love, read the books on influence, read the books on sales process, spin selling, everything that's out there, you will absorb like a sponge and apply, and you will not feel any shame and guilt because you understand that the result and the impact is what's most important.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Thank you so much for sharing, Jason. We learned a lot. I learned a lot also. It's really about those stages, right? Selling with love is really that thing that you need to have if you don't want to sell with guilt. And if you really understand your audience, if you really understand that with your help, they get this transformation, right? And then you can finally sell with love. You care about them. And that's the most important thing if you have any kind of consulting or coaching business. It's not about you. It's not about the money. It's about really caring so much about your clients and dedicating everything you have to get them results, right? And when you understand it, when you have this belief that you dedicate your life to get them results, you will do whatever it takes from love to close them, to get a sale.
Exactly.
And where they can find you, where they can learn more about you.
So there's two things. If ever you're into just improving yourself in all areas of your life, follow the Superhumans at Work podcast by Mind Valley. I host this, interview people on leadership, productivity, communication, sales. But if you want to go deeper into this high ticket sales system, I mentioned at the beginning that there's a data blueprint that you can actually find yourself being able to solve the people's problems specifically. And this is actually by using data sales. And this is really powerful because you can actually have the form that people apply to do consultations with you. You can actually have them ask a series of questions from strongly agree to strongly disagree about all the problems that you solve. I'll give you a quick example.
Well,
if let's say you're solving business problems, one of the things you could put in your application is saying, please review the following statement. I get more leads than I can handle from 1 to 5. I have a team of A players working for me, 1 to 5. My health and fitness my body is in its ideal state, 1 to 5. When people fill these kinds of questions, when you actually get on a call with them to sell them, you'll actually know exactly which problems to solve. And if you want to go deeper in this kind of system, send me a direct message. My Instagram and every other channel is Jason Mark with a C, Campbell. Send me a direct message. Tell me you found me on this episode and you want that cheat sheet, and I will send you a video training that shows you exactly how to apply that.
Link's going to be down below. Thank you so much. I think that's going to be very worth for people. I have never done it myself also, but I'm going to for sure give it a try because you really going to figure out what's the problems, right? And they can sell to those emotions also.
Exactly.
And that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. And you'll know exactly the value you provide by solving that emotion. So now, guilt-free sales. Again.
Hell yes. If you're not really sure what you're selling, if you're not really sure what you want to do, but you love to help people, I also made an entire video exactly explaining what niches are profitable, give you the first steps exactly how to start this business. So if it sounds like you want to do, click the video here and I will see you there.